यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ओम ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय Gita-mrita-duhe namaha. May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and the entire your family and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita, verse number 8 of 13th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Indriyartheshu Vairagyam Anahankara Evacha Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukha doshanudarshanam. Bhagavan Krishna is enumerating the virtues of life, or we can call it Vedanta friendly virtues or life friendly virtues. So he has completed 9 virtues in the verse number 7. Now in the verse number 8 he enumerated 3 virtues. The first one is dispassion towards the sense object. Okay. Then the next one was anahankara. So we have completed that. So we were just looking into janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. So this is a knowledge as well as a discipline which we have to have based on our perception. As we were born, there are 5 problems which one definitely should experience or should come across. That's what the first problem is called Janma. The birth is the problem. How? The birth is the problem means there are sufferings. When we started our journey being as a fetus, we were in the womb for 9 or 10 months. It was not a sophisticated place to stay. There was no air, nothing, no space. You just think about the place where we are kept in the womb. So it's around all, there is a small intestine, large intestine. The malam is kept, that excretas are kept nearby the garbha. That garbha means it's a place where you don't have completely freedom. When we stayed for 9 months, it was not the place for happiness. So we were about to come out. When we came out, at that time also there was a suffering. So we make our mother to suffer physically, psychologically. Even father suffers psychologically. Though they celebrate our birthdays, our birth, but it involves lots of sufferings. Anyway, that first suffering have been crossed. Then the next is what? Old age. The direct is old age. In between, there is one more suffering, is disease. But Bhagavan considers as a janma mrityu. He says directly birth and death. So in between there are 3 more. The first is birth, considered as a suffering for both parents and as well as for us too. Then the death. What is the problem regarding the death? Because death also considered as a painful experience. Though we are not experienced the death, that is only one time life phenomenon which is going to take place in our life. Even though we don't know when we are going to die. That becomes the problem. We cannot even plan. But still people are planning being at 90. They will have planning for 5 years, 10 years, But government will stop providing even the facilities for those old age people. They cannot have driving license after 50. They can have only, they will increase year by year. Otherwise, they don't renew it. Whether the person accepts or not, the death is going to take place. We don't know. That is a problem with lots of thrilling and suspense, and not only that, worry around it. When somebody is fixing marriage to her or his son or daughter, then they will be worried about so many aspects. Nobody should die. Even now in villages, the festivals are postponed or cancelled because if a person dies, whoever it may be, the total village won't celebrate any festivals. So death is considered as a problem. It breaks in so many ways of the flows of the life. Therefore, death is considered as a mega problem. So birth, as though we have completed, but there is one more problem which is waiting for us. Then in between, the vyadhi becomes one more problem. So what is that? Means disease can affect at any age. I've seen more people who are even from the birth itself, after being born, they were kept in the ventilator for 3-4 days, at least minimum for 1 week. Then even life continued with so many diseases. It is said youthness is the time where we enjoy the healthy life, but not with all. I've seen so many people, they suffer from the chronic diseases. Some diseases they are getting from the parents, like hereditary diseases. The disease, it becomes a part of the life. You go along with that. After 40 years, disease will become overcoming our life. When we lose our health, diseases are waiting to catch us. The body won't listen after time of after period of the time, the body loses its ability to fight against the diseases. That energy fighting nature, the fighting tendency should be maintained by us. It's very difficult to maintain, because if you are a little bit careless, not taking care of your body, means your health, you are not endowed with proper exercise, yoga, pranayama, then gaya. So you will be losing your health. Therefore, that is a big challenge to continue with the health. Otherwise, you may not have the proper body health, vyadhi. Now you see, birth becomes the first problem, the death becomes the mega problem, that which is considered as a second problem. Then third one is the disease, we have to fight, with which we have to fight forever. Then the old age, you cannot avoid the old age. Nowadays people are turning, getting grey in 30 years itself. I have seen many people, even before 30 they have started graying the hair. We cannot avoid. Body is out of our control. That brings a psychological problem, even physical problem. You are not able to cope up with your life, means it's painful. Many people, they have got fed up with these phenomena. The human being doesn't want to become old. Old age is to be accepted with proud. The old age is it symbolizes for the experiences. One should accept it. You have to welcome the old age. But that old age should not come in the young age itself. That is wrong. Because of ill health and because of wrong food, wrong habits, and wrong thoughts. When you are engaging yourself with wrong thoughts, body cannot wait. It won't have the resisting capacity. Therefore, we have to be very careful, and we have to have an observation. We have to remind our mind regarding these defects. These 5 defects cannot be avoided from anyone's life. Doesn't matter how billionaire, trillionaire, or how big gigantic personality you are. So one should undergo all this phenomenon. Therefore, when you undergo this, it will support to arrive at a conclusion, means a proper conclusion about the reality of the life. That's what Bhagavan is bringing here. Once you observe these defects, because we are not calculating, we are not paying attention at all, nobody thinks about the pain which is going to be there during the pregnancy. They are with the expectations of the baby. So because that expectations for that happiness, and so when you play with the baby, that is it is considered as a very great happiness and gift from the Ishvara. That is true, but they ignore the pain and tension during the pregnancy. They take care. This is what they consider life is. We ignore because we need something else, and we ignore also disease by enjoying so many. I have seen many people, even they enjoy party with the tablets, because being a sugar patient, they cannot have the sugar, but still they are endowed with sugar, and they enjoy eating sugar with the tablet. So having sugar and one tablet. So the mind, it expects to be happy always, but it starts ignoring the reality. Bhagavan says, don't let your mind to ignore the things. You be aware about this. That's all. That's what he says. Anudarshanam. You just should have an observation on this thing. You should observe. You should note properly. These are all the real realities of the world. Okay, anyway, we are going to see in positive way, but these are all the things which brings landslide in our life. Suddenly people were shocked because they were not thinking about these hurdles. It is considered as the hurdles. The human body, which always has excreta in it. Doesn't matter what kind of cosmetics you put on in your sharira, but your body continues with mala. Swamiji, why are you saying like this? No, that's what the reality. Bhagavan says, when you learn about the spiritual things, the disciplines, the virtues, you should know they are very bold enough to break the normal mundane mentality. Now you should accept, yes, I am born, I have to undergo 4 more problems. That depends on me how I face them. I should face positively. Positively means not by ignoring them. You have to accept, nobody is ready to think about the mrityu, means death. We are not ready to think. We ignore it. So when we start ignoring the things, definitely when the phenomenon, that instant takes place, we will become shocked and will become completely shaken. Bhagavan doesn't want it. A spiritual person who is endowed with a complete awareness, that awareness is the progress of the spirituality. Then the next, let us read the next words. Asaktirana bhishvangaha putradara grihadishu nityam cha samachittatvam yishtanishtopapatyushu. In these words, Bhagavan enumerates a few more virtues. The one is asakti, putradara grihadishu anabhishvangaha. Many people, they split it. Okay, both words are one. So it gives one virtue. Putra dara grihadishu anabhishvangaha. Then nityancha samachittatvam ishta nishtopa patyushu. Ishta anishta upapatyushu nityam samachittatvam. Only 3 virtues are introduced in these words. The first, asakti means what? Detachment. So detachment means what? Keeping away yourself from being addicted to something. That's what told in the last session also, in the name of Indriyartheshu Vairagyam. In the name of Vairagyam, the dispassion alone was taught. No, that dispassion from the sense object, Now this dispassion is the mental discipline. That discipline which was told was Indriya's discipline. It was known, or it is known in Sanskrit, Damaha Shamaha. Damaha means it is related to the sense organ disciplines. But this discipline is regarding the mind. Asakti means you should not live your life with a dependence. People become dependent completely psychologically. Nowadays, people are addicted to the mobile, addicted to the pen, or addicted to the car, bike, and even few people are addicted to a certain cloth, as in a person who is addicted to his kerchief. So wherever he goes, he doesn't want to lose the kerchief because he considers it's a luckiest one. Becoming addicted to somebody, some relationship, you may think that if they are not there, I am not going to live. This is depending on the worldly things. You have to be completely independent. You should know how to bring the independence. That's what the goal of spiritual thing is. We are independent personality, but we always depend on somebody. You may deny, or we may deny that I'm not like that. I don't depend on anybody. Who said? You just think your life. We have to observe clearly our life. We will be also locked somewhere. So on the share market number, on the bank balances, on the study result of our children, then some people, even they are dependent on the leaders. If a party leader loses his votes in the election, he loses his seat, some people, they become very sad, and 3-4 days they enjoy the sadness, and some of them they also become ill. That's what you should practice asakti. A spiritual seeker should be completely free from any kind of addiction. The addiction, mental addiction, getting the similar thoughts again and again. You should practice dharana, dhyanam, samadhi. Samadhi means don't think that is a mystical experience. No. Samadhi means you are able to grasp your ability. You are able to be endowed with the willpower, and you are able to be with you. That's what, it comes by the practice, the weakness. The spiritual seekers would not have any weakness. Asakti means it is staying with you with confidence, not becoming addicted to any object in the world. Even a spiritual seeker is not depending on his own body, mind, and sense complex. He is not going to glorify them. At the same time, he is not going to pamper it. He is not going to worry about it. He will take care of the body properly. At the same time, he will also be detached from this body. He knows, body is nothing but the device through which we can attain the ultimate goal. He knows how to use this device called body. He is not going to utilize this body for the wrongdoings. When you are engaged with the wrongdoings means if you are engaging with any action. So if you are enjoying the food, always having lots of food, becoming addicted to the food, then what? You will spoil your health. It's what known as wrongdoing. We should not be engaged with this kind of wrongdoing, overeating, over talking, overthinking, oversleeping, overworking. Becoming workaholic is the worst disease, I tell you. Workaholic, the word itself, it symbolizes the negative aspects. We should not be like a machine to earn. We are not the ATM machine. This is, it has to begin from the perception of the world. World is not only the money. When your Buddhi starts thinking money is everything, then you will convert yourself as a machine to earn more money. Then your all thoughts will be filled up with only one notion, that money notion. Then value of life goes away, health goes away, relative go away. So everything will go away. Then you will be endowed with money. Money is a dead material which cannot provide what you need. For the sake of your people, for the sake of your health, for the sake of your happiness, you need to have money. So in order to get the money, you sacrifice all of them. After having the money, If you are looking for them, they won't be available. Your age might have gone, because earning money is not an overnight job. It takes at least 10, 15 years minimum, I am telling. Otherwise, in order to establish any organization, we have to have at least 20, 25 years. So by that time, youthness will go away, then won't come back. If a person has the children will be grown away. So when the children who are grown, they cannot be expected like a pampering like a babies. The sacrificing everything for money is wrongdoing. That's what I am saying. The proper perception regarding life. We have to be endowed with Ishta Devata Upasana. That Ishta Devata Upasana will remove everything. Though Bhagavan is not bringing here, that's what he is keep on saying from the 7th chapter up to the 18th chapter. He will be bringing again and again Ishta Devata Upasana. It will make you to become befit for the spiritual things. Asakti is the one word. We need to have more and more classes to explore it, but we don't have many hours. So only we are finishing with this, with the word asakti. Asakti means cultivating freedom within us, making ourselves a free personality, not becoming addicted to any outside object, even not becoming addicted to any wrongdoing, not allowing any habit to become or to dominate us. Okay. Then putra dara grihadishu anabhishvangaha. So this virtue to be understood very carefully. If you directly read, meaning of it, so don't have love towards your family. Putra dara grihadishu. Putra means our children, our child, our children. Dara means wife or spouse. Grihadishu means a house, etc., etc. Assets, movable, non-movable, the conscious being. So you should not love. You should have complete detachment. Abhimana rahita bhavaha. Is it bringing that meaning here? No. We should not go for that meaning. Here, Bhagavan says, don't have over attachment towards these things. If we have a child, we have to bring the child up very carefully. Of course, we will have the love and attachment. Shastra is not asking you to disconnect that love and attachment. It is asking you should not be victimized by the love and affection which you have towards the baby or child. Because when you are victimized by the love and attachment, means love and affection, that will collapse your baby's growth. That's what Krishna is very careful. So the love and affection towards baby, there has to be there, it is to be there, but that love and affection, it should not be over than what is needed. Then you will be depending on the baby. If I don't have the baby, I won't have the life. So now you are sacrificing your life. That's need not. The Shastra says, in order to love someone, in order to bring up someone, you need not lose your life. That becomes a part of life. A baby becomes a part of life. That's what we are accepting. But it should not collapse your life. When you sacrifice, we think, we are sacrificing. Therefore, every father says after, bringing a child up, he says, I sacrifice so many things in order to bring you up. You are not listening to my words. I feel very bad now. That is what attachment is. When you bring a child, you have to bring, means we have to bring with knowledge. That's what the knowledge is given. Because I do have my own karma phala. A baby too has got its own karma phala. Now, my job being a father, I have to take care of the baby. I have to give love and affection. But that love and affection should help the baby to enjoy its karma phala in positive way. That's what the duty of a father. Every man or woman should have that understanding. That understanding alone, he says, as anabhishvangaha, not becoming a slave for our own love and affection. We have to teach what exactly the love and affection, not being victimized, to the children too. That's what our duty. A parent should know how to love the people without sacrificing the personal life. We should love others. We should give the affection to the people, but it doesn't mean that we should lose ourselves. And at the same time, we have to teach them to what exactly the love is. Love and affection is the nature of a jiva, a creature. Every animal needs love and affection. Therefore, human being, we protect animals. We protect lion, tiger, and so many elephant kind of animals. We love them, but we allow them to be in their own place. A zoo, so constructing a zoo also, it is, I don't consider it's a proper things to be done. So any creature which is born in this world, it should enjoy the freedom of its life. We should allow them to be in the forest. Nowadays, people are understanding, realizing that. So we can go and see the animals into the forest, but we should have the system for that, So security must be tight enough to protect the human being. That's what, giving freedom and being with freedom is mentioned here. You should know how to enjoy your space. You should know how to give the space to your spouse, your children, your people, parents even. How to give, how to have the space. That's what very important is. When we construct our house, so we fill that house in our mind, we lose our space. I think you are understanding what I say, So when you are occupied with the thoughts of your house, my house, my house, my house. So if something happens with the house, you become, my God, you are totally lost. We have to have our own space. We should not lose our space at any cost of the time. The love, for the sake of love and affection, even we need not to lose the space of ourselves. That's what Shastra is. Shastra doesn't deny you to love someone. Shastra says we have to love all. We have to have affection with all. But the love has to be unconditional love. The affection has to be pure. That's what it is said in the Shastra. Love means unconditional. That is what we know as a pure love. Anabhishvangaha means don't become or don't lose your space and provide the space to them too. Okay, this much is enough, So I have given solid examples and a solid dose for these to understand. Now, Nityam samachittattvam ishta anishta upapatyushu. Whether the environment is positive or negative for us doesn't matter, but we have to continue with the samachittattvam. Samachittattvam means what? Equal mindedness. Maintaining the tranquility of our mind. That's very difficult. When you want to do something, you get obstacles. And sometimes your own relative becomes obstacles. When you want to do something, you will find so many obstacles. Even if you want to sit for meditation, for 5 minutes, and people will come, they will comment on you. So whatever you do, people will comment. That is another thing. But when you want to do something proper, so you are very confident and you also believe, you have Shraddha. At that time, our close relatives, they comment on. That comment will pinch us. Then you have to maintain your tranquility. You should not lose. So this qualification, it's known as Samadhanam in Vedanta. Samadhanam means what? Not allowing our inner peace to shake. Maintaining the inner peace, we have to, because life is like a ocean. The ocean is full of layers. If you go into a deep ocean, you won't find any layers only in the upwards. On the surface alone you can see, the layers, but in the deep sea there is no layers. Like that, the inner peace should not be lost by a spiritual seeker. This is what it's meant by. And prarabdhavashena. So one more word Acharya is, Ishtanam Anishtanam cha upapattayaha sampraptayaha tasu Ishtanishtopapatishu nityam eva tulya chittata Ishta upapattishu na hrishyati na kupyati na anishta upapattishu tacha etat nityam samachittatvam jnanam. In Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter itself, Bhagavan told Yam hi na vyathayantyete purusham purusharushabha samadukha sukham dhiram somrtatvaya kalpate adveshta sarva bhutanam maitrah karuna evacha nirmamo nirahankaraha. So this is what Bhagavan says. So the person who is not shaken by, it's ishta upapatyushu. Anishta upapatyushu means all this positive, negative incidents, accidents is because of only my prarabdha karma. That's what seeker's perception is. So when you get something good experiences, that's because of our prarabdha karma, but we are not becoming over into regarding that. It will also pass through. When we get the bad means a painful experience, the environment which gives pain and suffering, at that time also we are not going to lose ourselves. We are going to maintain means what? We are going to do, we are going to perform whatever we have undertaken. Just we are going to continue with the spiritual things and engaged with dharma. You lead your life towards forwarding towards the ultimate goal. That's what the capacity. So this is also, it's a very subtle and difficult virtue to be adapted. With these three virtues, 3 plus 3 plus 9. So now we have completed 15 virtues. The next verse, let us continue. Mayi chananya yogena bhaktiravibhicharini vivekta desha sevitvam aratirjana samsatihi. So from this verse, from verse number 10, Bhagavan gives very intimative virtues for a spiritual seeker. That we will continue from next class tomorrow. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.